I still can't get over the fact he's feeding beer to babies. This is so. This is so just unbelievably tough.
Look, fellas, YouTube hasn't been paying
I'm not a fella, but I will look. I will look
a
at your
lot
plight.
lately, so I'm looking for a side hustle. Babysitters typically aren't compensated very well, maybe $15 an hour to babysit a child. However, you can hack the system.
I'm sorry.
Very
I'm
well, maybe
sorry,
$15 an hour to babysit a child. However, you
I don't think I've ever seen that thumbnail. I don't think I've ever seen that thumbnail before. Oh fuck! Oh my god! Back when YouTube was interesting.
can hack the system. By babysitting 50 children at a time, I stand to make
2 + 3 ×
$750 an hour. The issue is, before anyone is going to trust me with all 50 of their children, they're going to want to know what my average mortality rate is. And so we're going to
You shouldn't have an average mortality rate though, Reggie. That is the issue. If I'm gonna let you babysit our children, I want to know that you just do not have an average mortality rate. That's a big no-no.
collect some data on that in this week's challenge, because I will be babysitting 50 children in Rimworld. Oh, and just for fun, each child suffers from a metabolic dependency on alcohol.
I have questions. I have a lot of questions, in fact. I have a ton of questions. Too young for addictions. Alcohol dependency. What? What? I think we need child services involved here. This is not okay. This is horrifying. Because of course they do. Yes, start alcoholism young. Base Reggie, you guys are fucked.
The longer someone with this trait goes without alcohol, the more negative effects they accrue. Typically, by day 30, they enter a coma, and by day 60, they die. Society would classify this as a cruel act of God, but I decided
No, I feel it's a cruel act of you, Reggie. I think you intentionally did this, motherfucker.
those kids still had it too easy, so I installed some mods to speed things up a bit. Now the children enter a state of severe delirium after 3 days without alcohol, by 6 days they're fully comatose, and by 9 days, well, let's just be thankful I'm not running the cannibalism perk. Here's where the real challenge.
Even though I thought I'm desensitized to Reggie, I'm not. I'm genuinely, once again, looking stunned and questioning Reggie's fucking sanity here. The fuck is wrong with this guy?
Comes in. I've turned on the setting Characters Explode on Death. This, combined with the baby's life-threatening alcoholism, turns them into a literal ticking time bomb that can only be defused with beer. If I fail to adequately supply alcohol to minors, I risk causing a chain reaction of exploding babies.
Okay, it got worse. It got infinitely so. Oh my fucking god, bro! What the fuck is this? What is this? What is this, chat? I'm very familiar with Rimworld. I've got like over 1,000 hours in the game. I love Rimworld. You should not be able to have exploding babies. The fuck is? Why is that a mod? Why is that a mod, chat? I need to know. No, fuck. Oh my god. I'm used to his spontaneous shenanigans by now. Oh yes, the atomic baby reactor is beautiful. Oh yes, the perfect husband, atomic babies, nuclear fusion, nephew, behold the power of the sun. Fuck's sake, bro.
Which could destroy my reputation as a babysitter. Before we begin, I don't know if I'm asking a lot here, but I need you all to become very comfortable with the idea of baby mortality, because this, personally, I'm shooting for like a 70% survival rate. But before we get into that, I'd like to tell you about this video's sponsor, Atlas VPN. This is a highly trusted data protection company with years of experience and over 6 million users. I'll be honest, if you've clicked on this video publicly, I shudder to think of what depraved, inhuman content you're clicking on privately. But here's
Fuck you.
This is taking baby boomers very literally.
No, yes, it is agent. Yes, thank you for the biddies, by the way. Yes, this is literally baby boomers. Yeah, his reputation is all he has to worry about. Yeah, exactly.
Here's the issue. It's not private. You see, going on the internet without a VPN is like going to the supermarket without any clothes. People are going to judge you, and then you're going to jail. However, Atlas VPN is offering a limited time deal. They will protect your personal data for only $1.83 per month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. They're even throwing in 3 extra months for free. $1.83, for God's sake, if you can't afford that, how are you going to afford
Can't afford $1.83. I'm sorry. That's too rich for my blood.
a lawyer when the FBI finds out about all those games you tested? But hey, even if you're not on a watch
No, shut up. I promise I was just testing those games, okay? I gave them back. I gave them all back. I was testing them.
list like the rest of us, you can still enjoy the other benefits of Atlas VPN. For example, maybe the cruel authoritarian sycophants at Netflix don't offer your favorite shows in your region. With Atlas VPN, I press one button.
I'm sorry, chat. I need to. I don't know if I saw what I just saw.
Netflix don't offer your favorite shows in your region.
Exactly
With
what
Atlas
I saw.
VPN, I press one
Fuck's
button
sake.
and suddenly Reggie has become Regcenzo of the Lombardia region. Now I can consume the real intellectual content that my brain yearns for. My searches are protected, my ads are blocked, I'm officially vacationing in Italy, and it only cost me $1.83 per month. Simply amazing. If you've ever thought about trying a VPN before, this is your chance. Follow the link on screen or in the description to try Atlas VPN and protect your online data before it's too late. Thank you, Atlas, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's begin. If I'm going to babysit 50 filthy drunks, I'm going to need a team of super nannies. Through careful genetic
Holy
manipulation,
shit.
I've managed to transform 6 otherwise normal colonists into inhuman monstrosities that have only one purpose in life: babysitting. They are equipped with a 20
The babysitting mutation, the mutants, the babysitting mutants.
8-foot horizontal leap, 50% increased move speed, they don't need to sleep at all, and I've even installed a fire extinguisher in each of their throats. There are some downsides, but we
What
can
the
deal with that
fuck?
later. Let's get to babysitting. Here we are, 6 albino babysitters with a genetic framework so complex that our bones could emulsify at any second. But where are the babies? Well, they actually dropped in ahead of us, and many of them are laying in a shallow pond right now, but they landed butter side up, so it's all good. Each of the babies is one of the commenters from my last video. If you see your name on screen right now,
That's such a good idea. That is such a fucking good idea. Chat, I want to play Rimworld, but I want to name the colonists after you guys in stream right now. I genuinely want to fucking play and then fucking have you guys be the colonists and see if you live or die. I think that'd be fun. That'd be very fun. Or maybe do like a challenge. Maybe do like the challenge version of it or something. The autism levels, listen. We're all on the spectrum to some degree. That'd be fun. I think so. That'd be fun because then I just, you'd intentionally all die to spite me and my colony.
oh, congratulations, your life is now in danger. Typically in this situation, I would
Exactly.
start by assessing the terrain for a suitable place to create our base. But the logistics of transporting 50 babies is just not on our side, so I think we'll kind of construct the settlement around the children. The reality of the situation is, everyone in this colony will be dead pretty soon if we don't get our hands on some alcohol or at least some good mouthwash. Given this, our first concern is planting some crops. We'll need some basic food and hops, which we can later refine into beer. I have no self-control, so I just went ahead and planted about 200 of each. With our agricultural investment complete, we must now turn our attention to securing the payload. There are a lot of dangerous animals in this biome, and as much as I'd love to see a cougar blow its own head off by eating a baby, I just can't afford to jeopardize my professional reputation like
It takes a bite and just fucking just explosion, just nuclear fusion that instant.
that. So, how should we go about designing our industrial nursery? Good question. You see, I've tried this challenge once before, and let's just say it didn't go well. In fact, I made one huge mistake. I was treating the babies too much like people, when really I should have
you mean you're treating them too much like people? What the fuck is that
been
sentence?
treating them like highly enriched uranium. When you get too much uranium in one place, it can initiate a nuclear criticality incident which causes an explosion. See Japan in 1945 for more information on this. It's the same thing for these little bastards. If I just store them all in one big warehouse, all it takes is one baby going critical, and before you know it, the entire room is coated in flaming viscera. That's why for the design of this new nursery, I'm going to be taking inspiration from a certain famous nuclear reactor. By dividing my
What? This is so fucked up. I don't know why, but this just feels so fucked. Like, so fucked up on every single level, bro.
fissile material into several sub-reactors, we can reduce the potential for nuclear Armageddon. Sure, reactor A might go critical, but reactors B, C, and D are far enough away to ensure the safety of their contents. Over the next couple days, our baby containment center started to take form. It's surprising just how much you can get done when you work 24 hours a day, stopping only to eat and
That would be the dream, chat. That would be the dream. If I could just, like, if someone could invent the 24-hour day, and then the 24-hour evening, and then the 24-hour night, God, the amount of fucking work I could get done would be so amazing, and I'd have, like, no stresses or worries. Well, there'd be no stresses and worries, but, like, my job would be so much easier if I had, like, a 24-hour day to get... I could get so much fucking artwork done in 24 hours.
And play horseshoes. It took us a while to wrangle the herd of babies into position, but after separating them into several protective pods, we can finally breathe a sigh of relief. The next thing we need to address is the issue of alcohol production. We need to acquire at least 50 bottles of beer every 9 days. We have plenty of hops planted.
I've actually never grown hops in Rimworld, I'm gonna be real. I've never done any of the drugs or anything like that. If I remember correctly, there is a Twitch integration mod for Rimworld. There is. You are correct. You are correct. There is one. We'll have to reinstall it again, I think.
Which is a great start, but processing them into beer within a reasonable time frame will require two things. One, a mega brewery equipped to process and ferment hundreds of bottles of beer at a time, and two, way more slave labor. We gotta really pump these numbers up. I'm talking 1840s levels of human rights violations. Because it's one thing to produce all this hops, but without a larger workforce, I doubt we'll be able to harvest and process it within the necessary time frame. This is where we must turn to technology. If we could create an army of robotic farm workers, we could increase our beer production substantially, and hopefully enough to stave off the apocalypse of 50 thermonuclear babies. The only way to assemble such an AI army is through the use of a mechanitor. At present, we don't have one. However, this map has an ancient exostrider body, which can get us started. I had the colonists approach the exostrider and beat the ever-living shit out of it. It eventually erupted in flames, which caused most of my babysitters to suffer an immediate mental breakdown because they have the pyrophobia trait. But one colonist...
Why would you give them pyrophobia if they're taking care of nuclear reactors, bro? That seems really, really counterintuitive right there.
possessed the mental fortitude to remain calm and launch his extinguishing foam onto the exostrider. This secured our payload of one mechanoid transponder.
It's also raining, so the rain will take care of the fire anyway, so you could just wait to let them fucking chill. I wish we could remove the need for sleep. Same. I genuinely... I wish we didn't need to sleep. I wish we could just, like go on indefinitely without sleep. That would make... It'd make life very weird, but I'm so much more productive. So much more productive. Where the babies go boom is all over. Yeah, exactly. So why have pyromania? Sorry, pyrophobic. You have pyromaniac instead.
Once everyone was done hyperventilating, I had them return to the base to decrypt the transponder. This allows us to provide our coordinates to a
Why is it...
hostile alien death squad.
Why is it Command and Conquer? Oh no, Red Alert! It's Red Alert, not Command and Conquer. Ayo, base
which will subsequently drop onto our map and try to kill us. Not what you want to hear from your nursery manager, but I need you to trust the process. If we can manage to defeat them, we'll be able to create our own mechanitor and eventually our own...
Sorry, that took a minute to register. What?
Yes. If we can manage to defeat...
Why is bro getting so aggressive? He just doesn't have a fucking let me tackle the poor robot. What the fuck is this? Oh my god. I feel sorry for the robot. That's so mean and unnecessary, bro. Just freaking roundhouse freaking dropped him. I fucking American football tackle.
them, we'll be able to create our own Mechanitor and eventually our own robotic army. We signaled the enemy drop pod and out came one Scyther. Yeah, like the Pokemon. I had our babysitters utilize their 28-foot horizontal leap to outmaneuver the Scyther and pick it apart with rifle fire. Eventually we killed it, which caused it to explode in a giant fireball and light all of our crops on fire. This made me realize it's not only our colonists that explode on death, everything explodes. Everything from the small animals running around the map to your own grandmother. Everything and everyone is...
Wait, what about my grandma? You better not be talking shit about my grandma. Oh wait, why are they all wearing suicide vests? Oh no! Oh,
a potential suicide bomber. A chilling revelation to say the least. Regardless, after we killed the Scyther, we obtained a mech-link and turned Starpig into a Mechanitor. We converted these old ruins into a factory and began the gestation cycle on some robots to help us.
Does that come to who's boss? The robot had a shotgun, Matthew. Yeah. But maybe it was, protecting people. Maybe it was a good clanker, okay? Not all clankers are bad, but just most of them.
Around the base. Soon we will be able to entrust the care of our children to a small army of cold, uncaring machines. You might think our colonists are able to achieve these superhuman feats because they're genetically gifted, and you'd be half right in that assumption. However, they've also got a lot of problems too, not the least of which is a physiological need to consume human.
They're fucking vampires too. Reggie, bro, what are you doing? What? Okay, so those that don't know, chat, this is a genuine fucking trait in the game. You can make literal vampires in the game. It's so annoying. Like, she's just adding another fucking thing he's got to manage on top of everything else, bro.
Blood.
Why?
I don't like the term vampire. It makes people think you're some kind of weirdo, but the reality of the situation...
Reggie, you are indeed a fucking... They're pale-skinned, white hair, and red eyes. You make fucking vampires, don't even. Don't fucking even, bro. It wasn't a robot, that was a person. Corridor Digital did a spoof of a Boston Dynamics. It's called Boston Mechanics. Interesting, okay. Not all clankers are bad, says the Necron player. Exactly, Necrons are good people, okay? They just deserve the stars.
We're going to need to take some people hostage and farm them for their blood. We managed to populate our blood collection clinic after the first raider attack. When this poor old boy showed up, I equipped some guys with maces and had them tenderize him real good. He responded by bleeding and losing consciousness. After locking him up and turning on the hemogen farm setting, we now have a supply of blood packs to keep our babysitters operating at superhuman levels.
You also need to nugget a Thiam. We talked about this last stream. You need to turn him into a nugget so he doesn't go anywhere, and he can't break free, and he can't escape or attack people. He just sat in bed as a hemogen farm. That's what you need to do. You need to nugget a Thiam.
We need to kidnap more people to extend our production, but for the time being, this will be okay. The next logistical nightmare we have to navigate is that for some reason, beer isn't recognized as an acceptable food item for babies, and as such, the children refuse to drink it. This is kind of a big deal, but much like paying child support, you can get around it if you know the right loopholes.
I'm legitimately speechless for a second there. What the fuck? Just pay fucking child support.
For example, if you go to the surgery tab and scroll past all the gross stuff, you'll find a section for administering drugs. What some people don't realize is that there's also a section for administering alcohol. Therefore, we can keep our babies alive through the powers of medical science. By completing 50 life-saving alcohol transplants every week, we can keep our babies fed and unexploded. The issue is, we only have one doctor, and that's a pretty hefty workload. I'm worried he won't be able to complete all the surgeries in time. What we need is mastery, an expert surgeon who could perform a triple lung transplant in a dark room using only chopsticks. We could get there if we had enough time, but we don't. So we're going to take the easy way out. I'm talking about medically induced brain damage. You see, there's...
Wait, what? Wait, what, huh? Medically induced brain...
There's a condition in Rimworld called trauma savant. Basically, if a colonist gets just the right amount of brain damage, they can increase their surgery skill by about 50%.
For 1,000 hours of Rimworld. I never knew that. I never fucking knew that. I never knew that. I played over... Oh, God. Yo, let's go, lobotomies. Brain damage.
Key is to get in that Goldilocks zone. Too much brain damage and you've got yourself a new paperweight. Not enough brain damage and you're just wasting your time. Now listen, I know what you're thinking. Reggie, isn't it morally questionable to induce...
Yes. Yes, it is. It is. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Reggie doesn't give
brain
two shits.
damage for personal gain? The answer is, I don't care, but if it makes...
I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it,
you feel
bro.
any better, I'll assure you that this procedure will be handled in the most professional and medically sound way possible. Basically, we're going to take that log over there and smash John on the back of the head with it until he doesn't know what year it is anymore. Actually, my personal litmus test to see if our colonist has accumulated enough traumatic brain injuries is to ask him if he feels brain damaged yet. And if he replies at all...
I do. Watching Reggie videos, I do feel that. I feel that's for real.
We didn't go far enough. I had Starpig perform the
God.
procedure on John, and after a few attempts, we have successfully created a trauma savant who will hopefully be able to use his increased manipulation stat to process 50 surgeries per week. And just in case that isn't enough, I also have a small amount of cocaine that we can feed the doctor to increase his work rate. In fact, it's been almost 8 days now, so the babies are all comatose. This is both good and bad. Comatose babies don't cry, which means they can't provide a -24 mood modifier. However, it also means they're becoming very chemically unstable and will be exploding soon. It's time for John to perform his first life-saving treatment. He grabbed a cold one and set off to the nursery. After about
I still can't get over the fact he's feeding beer to babies. This is so fucked. This is so just unbelievably fucked
an hour or
up.
so, the surgery was a complete success. The baby is absolutely hammered. What a lightweight. That was actually pretty easy. I thought this would be a more difficult surgery. You know what, John? We probably didn't even need to give you all that brain damage. Anyway, I had John perform the surgery on the other 49 babies.
There's so much vomit. All these like greeny yellow patches on the ground chat is vomit. There's so much fucking vomit.
This consumed almost all of our starter beer, and so the timer is ticking again. We have about 8 more days until total Armageddon. Fortunately, it's harvesting season, and we just started hauling in some hops. From here, I had our colonists process them into wort so we could produce some beer. It's going to take a while, but all we can do is sit back and hope to God we make this beer before it's too late. After all, the babies are kind of cute when they're all in one piece like that. Over the next few days, we made several key advancements to our babysitting business. We produced a fleet of mechs to clean up the industrial amounts of vomit in our nursery, and if we get attacked, I can always repurpose them into suicide drones. Don't you feel safe now, children? We also researched microelectronics, which allowed us to enter a technological
Microelectronics, you get some good shit. You get some good shit. That's like the first major like hurdles to get to that technology.
renaissance of sorts. No longer do we have to
They're babies now, so they do that. I know, but like feeding them alcohol is the more fucked up part here, Alex. That is the more fucked up part
rely
here.
on puny solar panels, because now we can build an actual nuclear reactor next to our metaphoric nuclear reactor. I figure if we're going to have all the risks of acute radiation poisoning, we may as well get some of the benefits too. All is going well.
A nuclear reactor inside the nursery where the babies are. I didn't believe it could make this any worse. Yet here I am. Just in this fucking belief, bro.
However, we are again approaching 9 days without alcohol, and it's going to be a close call. As soon as the beer came out of the fermenters, I had John bring out the funnel and perform as many alcohol transfusions as he could. He was making great progress, but it soon became clear not everyone was going to make it. We didn't have enough time to operate on most of the babies in Reactor C, and it's going to blow. We need to move fast if we want to save our most valuable natural resource. The beer. I had our colonists brave the reactor to save 4 beer bottles. They managed to get out just in time as the babies went critical and decimated everything inside.
But could you just like send the babies to huh? What, babies don't like nuclear power? No, they don't. They're very against clean energy, babies, actually. If you didn't know, now you do.
This was very unfortunate, and for the sake of my reputation, we're going to pretend Reactor C never existed. Just A, B, and D, no questions asked. Anyway, the upside to this limit testing is that now we know we're going to have enough beer for next time. That's one huge obstacle out of our way, but I think we need to take this experiment even further. First of all, while we have the beer production under control, these little winos still need a steady supply of nutrition, and even with the mechs, we're having a hard time producing enough.
so fucking ungrateful. They get fed beer once every 9 days. And they're still ungrateful. They want baby food too. Oh, can't believe. Ah, yes, A, B, and D. Yes, A, B, and D. The classic alphabet. What happened to C? We don't talk about
Food.
C.
This is where we must turn to our unlikely subterranean allies, the British. When they
Why am I getting drive-bys? Why am I getting fucking drive-bys, bro? Reggie. Every video. It's like Seth, Max, and Reggie go to this fucking bully the British for no reason.
create a hive, it slowly
Oh my god, Neffy Cameo, you shut your dirty mouth, Bob. You shut your dirty whore mouth.
produces insect jelly, which is extremely nutritious for the babies. One colony is pretty good, but to feed our remaining toddlers, we're going to need to attract even more. Fortunately, I know just the trick. You see, there's nothing the British love more than ingesting whole garbage bags of toxic waste.
Damn it, I hate this so much. I hate this so fucking much. I hate this so much. I fucking hate you.
And we've got plenty of that. By creating a toxic waste dump in front of our base, we managed to attract several infestations, and eventually we had 14 hives producing insect jelly for us. All we have to do is sneak in at night and appropriate their colony's entire gross domestic product.
Is it true, Nuffy? No, it's not true. This is a drive-by for no reason.
It's also worth mentioning that this is the only way into or out of the base, so depending on what time you come to visit the nursery, you're either going to experience safe passage, or you'll be tore apart by the razor-sharp mandibles of
That's actually a really good kill box idea. If you can somehow manage to cage in the fucking insects, but they like to mine and dig, so even if you build that stone, they'll just like dig through it eventually. And more hives will spawn outside of it. But if you can manage to make like a kill box area, so like in order to get to your colony, enemies have to go through this like zone. That would be really clever, really
enraged Englishmen. There's definitely some fine-tuning to do, but overall, it's working very well. Starvation is now a distant memory, and whenever the babies start to sober up from their bender, I just dispatch the party doctor to administer some of his miracle medicine, and we're all good. Over the next few weeks, I also managed to advance our nursery's military into a very formidable force. We now have flamethrower-wielding security guards and giant Gauss rifle caterpillars on every corner. This may seem excessive, but it's actually all necessary for the next part of our plan. Obviously, Reactor C didn't exist, but hypothetically,
yes, oh god, fuck it.
If it did, we
therapist. Yeah, Reactor C never existed, ever. It's
would have lost 12 babies when it exploded. It's conceivable that we could just travel to another colony and forcibly adopt their babies to replace our missing.
No. He's breaking. Oh my god. Every fucking time, I think he's like got to the bottom, like to the lowest levels of depravity. He fucking one-ups himself in the same video.
Babies, hypothetically. And so that's exactly what we did. I mobilized the military and we left to visit our neighbors. They didn't really understand the concept of adoption, so I had my robots explain it to them by burning their houses down. We had to visit 5 different colonies, but eventually we managed to accumulate a dozen replacement babies for our nursery. Fantastic. Reactor C is now open for business. However, I can't risk anyone finding out the truth about Reactor.
This man is a menace. Yeah, fucking A is a menace. I say again, what about this is out of character for him? I know, but like I just keep feeling like at some point I'm like, okay, this is the lowest Reggie can go. He's like, there's no lower. Like he's hit the bottom of the fucking floor. And then Reggie's like, hand me that fucking shovel, I'm gonna start digging deeper, bitch.
Reactor C, and we're going to have to go to great lengths to make sure no one realizes that these babies are just body doubles. First, I had to change their names and try to match up the skin tones as best I could. That was easy, but the bigger issue is that these kids don't have alcoholism like the rest of our babies. There's only one way to fix this. It took a lot of
No, you don't, no, Reggie, you don't need to fix that. That is a good thing that they don't have alcoholism, okay? That is a good thing. We don't need to fix this. We can leave that as it is, okay? Give yourself a fucking break. You keep acting like Reggie is a war crime slime. Yeah. Yeah.
time and resources, but eventually we managed to develop our own high-tech laboratory, and through the wonders of science we were able to genetically alter the replacement babies to turn them into raging alcoholics just like the others. These new babies are now one-to-one indistinguishable replicas of the originals. I don't like to gloat, but we've really outdone ourselves here. We have finally restored our nursery's mortality rate to a pristine 0%, worthy of patronage from even the most prestigious client. Technically, I could probably finish the challenge.
Hi, Soicals, how are you? Welcome in. Hot every Grace from Mexico. Hi, girl. Wait, you're in Mexico, are you? Hope you're having a good time. If you give up, there is no saving Reggie's soul. But I wanna believe. I wanna fucking believe.
Challenge here, but I felt a certain connection to our little community, and I decided to raise the babies into children. I taught them many valuable lessons along the way. I even introduced them to gun safety by scattering several loaded shotguns and revolvers around the nursery and seeing if they'd take the bait. Fortunately, they all passed this test, and by day 100, they had graduated to childhood. Now ambulatory and somewhat verbal, they are ready to begin their journey as lifelong alcoholics. But first, they've got some debts to pay off. You see, I've invested a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into raising these kids, and the army of killer robots requires a lot of electricity to keep it up and running. So I think it's only fair to put the kids to work in the power plant. I've created 50 manually operated.
Is it gonna stop, chat? When is it gonna stop? When is he gonna stop? When? Chat, please make him stop. Please make him stop, bro. So many ancient Egyptian videos I love that. Oh, I don't know many. I only know like 3, I think, off the top of my head. Never. No longer babies, they are now walking, talking human bombs. Inspirational. We as a society should take. No, we shouldn't. No, we shouldn't. We should make children fucking work when they're kids. Okay, let them be kids.
Stationary bicycles that the kids will use to power the base. In total, this generates 15,000 watts of power, which is 5 times as much as a literal nuclear reactor. Some call me
Child slavery, let's go. 7 euro.
a lunatic with a madman's dream, but I genuinely believe this is the future of the human race. That's all we've got for this week, folks. We've raised a gang of alcoholic babies and put them to work in an internment camp. Big thank you to this month's patrons for making these videos possible, and finally, thank you for watching.
Well, that was horrifying. Like I said, the amount of times this motherfucker just fucking one-ups himself, I'm astounded and just dismayed, is ridiculous. I love Reggie. I won't lie. He's a very good content creator. I love his videos, but holy shit is he unhinged.